everybody, I'm Nick Sewall, your Tennessee Regional Coordinator for Irreverent Warriors. We're going to do a quick little video about budget do's and don'ts, basically using our donor funds to the best of our abilities. We got a couple examples of good budgets and bad budgets. Bad example number one, our expenses. They're calling $10,000 for the hike and $2,000 for irreverent stuff. When we're doing a budget, we want to have a breakdown of what items we're actually going to be spending money on. On the fundraising side, money coming in, our hikes don't work on hopes and dreams. We're going to talk about that a couple times. But you need to know where your money is coming from. Like right now, you can see that there's $12,000 in predicted expenses. We don't know what they are, so that would be denied anyway. But then we're looking at about $1,500 coming in on the income side, and $1,500, $12,000. There's a huge money gap right there of $10,500. So that budget will not be approved. All right, next up, we have bad number two. It's slightly better than the last one. Unless they have a single $15,000 sponsor, this is not going to work. We need a lot more thought put into where your money is coming from. 3 or 4 $1,000 sponsors, a couple $750 sponsors, a $2,500 sponsor, and then 6 $500 sponsors. If you can at least put the thought effort into how many of what level you need, that would be better. Next up, bad number 3. We have improvement here. You have a list of sponsors that you know are either committed or you're going to target and are very likely to give you a check. If you have a Facebook fundraiser that you've done in the past, any big event fundraising that you've done year after year, and you have a good baseline of what that brings in, you can put that stuff in here at the beginning of the year. The main problem with this one is we still have no breakdown of what our expenses are. Next up, the main problem with this one is you see we have numbers marked out on the expenses side. You have 2 sponsors, your Eventbrite money, a Facebook fundraiser, and then a little bit of money last year, and you bring in $5,000. You can't budget to spend $10,000, $15,000 plus. Your budget can only be what you bring in. You then have to prioritize what you want to spend money on to make these donations go the furthest. Your number one priority is your permit, your hike day snacks and water, lunch, and merchandise that's sold, so that'll counteract your Eventbrite total. If you're tight on a budget, it is not in the SOP that you have to provide lunch where you're paying for it. You just have to give the hikers the ability to eat lunch. You have to make sure you have bathrooms along your hike. If not, then you'll need to rent porta-johns. You do not have to provide swag. Swag's gotten a little crazy the past couple years, where we're giving out $10, $15 worth of swag to everybody. I've seen it a little higher than that in different cities as well. All right, next up, bad hike budget number 5. You're seeing money out of $14,000 and money in of $3,500. So we've had a couple budgets just like this submitted. That's not going to get approved. So you have to be able to fundraise. If you don't have money coming in, you can't have money going out. You have 2 options. You can lower your expenditures, or hopefully you'll raise your income, money coming in. Work on fundraising. If you need help with fundraising, we have a very great sponsorship packet that's worked for years. Reach out to your regional coordinator. If they are unable to assist, I'm happy to assist. Please reach out. We have plenty of knowledge within this organization to assist you. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to raise $10,000 to $15,000 a year. This is also a good example of where you want to be at your 6-month mark. So you might not know who all your sponsors are going to be, but you have a good idea of what your expenditures are going to be, and you can set a goal for your budget with that. So with this one, we'll get to our next good, and it is an example. That's the example given in your hike drive. So one thing I did do for this one is we added sponsors 1, 2, 3 through 11 on the right-hand side for money coming in. And that's how you kind of project what you think you're going to need. So you look at your budget, you got $10,000 going out. That means you need to bring in at least $10,000, hopefully more, because the more money you bring in, the more you can use. This is the type of plan that you need to have 6 months out, ideally 9 months out, and this will get your budget approved for the hike year to where you can go out and start doing stuff. So next up, we're going to go to the good number 2. This is an example of a good budget. that is approved. This is my budget here in Memphis. It's already been approved by leadership. Some highlights on this is we plan for vet-togethers throughout the year. Plan our budget based on a calendar year rather than a hike. So we have the high dollar hike stuff on here, but we also have some marketing expenditures, various vet-togethers. We're budgeting for conference flights. Then we do a Thanksgiving party every year. We cut a check to the VFW for $500, and that covers all food. A big thing also to look at on this one is we have $14,000 and change going out, but we had $19,000 coming in this year. We have a positive cash flow of $5,000. So because this is unbudgeted at the end of the year, unless I use it on something else and come up with something, that $5,000 will be absorbed by National to be put to use elsewhere in this organization. All right, so we got this budget from Miss Chrissy Leak herself. This is exactly what they're looking for. So they have their permit, they have their lunch, they have their merchandise, they have donated breakfast. That's an in-kind donation. They just have it on here as annotated. Dinner after the hike, meet and greet food, after party venue fee, swag, porta-johns, photographer, the full shebang. If you fundraise that for your event, that's the kind of stuff that we're looking to spend money on. They also have monthly meetups, $2,000 for the year. Again, those will need individual budgets per event to get those funds released. But for our main budget we're sending up for approval at the beginning of our year, this is just fine. Overall, if you have any questions, your regional is here to help. We're here to support you. Any questions, please reach out. I'm here if you need anything. A lot of scrutiny is coming to our funds and how we're spending money. Please, let's make this easier. Nobody likes being audited, but if we all had budgets and we stuck to them, future audits will be so much easier. Please do your budget, upload your receipts when you make expenditures, and let's make this easier for our financial folks going forward. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great night.